Hi, my name is Jennifer Cooper, and I am a member of the current senior class of 2014 at McDaniel College. I am a member of the McDaniel College Honors Program. I am majoring in biology, which means that I had to write an essay and present on a research internship conducting lab experiments. I did my research internship at the Food and Drug Administration, a branch of the federal government that approves medical devices for U.S. markets. I was specifically interested in examining a device that in the future may help improve the lives of diabetics. The scientific terminology for diabetes is diabetes mellitus. Diabetes mellitus is a disease that affects over 25 million people in the U.S. alone. There are two types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. Type 1 is characterized by the inability of the pancreas to produce insulin. Type 2 diabetes is characterized by the decreased ability of the pancreas to produce insulin. The hormone insulin allows the uptake of glucose from the blood into the cells of the body, which is then used to produce ATP. ATP is your body's main source of energy. Therefore, diabetics must frequently test their blood glucose levels in order to determine whether they need to administer an injection of insulin or temporarily increase their consumption of carbohydrates. An injection of insulin will correct their hypoglycemia. Hyperglycemia means that the blood has too high a concentration of glucose. However, if diabetics inject themselves with too much insulin, then their blood glucose concentrations will plummet, and they will become hypoglycemic. Hypoglycemia is when there's too little glucose in your blood. Glucose is a type of sugar molecule, so a diabetic experiencing a low concentration of glucose in their blood will need to consume a drink or food high in carbohydrates or sugars. Either extreme is dangerous to the patient and can produce negative health consequences, such as vision problems, increased risk of heart disease, and unconsciousness, as well as other problems. Therefore, diabetics need to continuously monitor their blood glucose levels. The current methods of blood glucose testing is by finger pricking, which is painful. My friend Craig here will demonstrate this for you.
Sure. So this is a typical diabetic testing kit. Find a number of things inside. First, and probably most important, the actual testing meter itself. The lancet device used to prick your finger. Vial of test strips. Alcohol swab used to sterilize the area. And the lancet itself. So the first thing you do is prep the lancet device. You want to insert the lancet into the device carefully, and then twist off the protective cap. And prime the device. Next, take out a test strip. Insert it into the device, which will then start up, and after a moment, will tell you to apply blood. Next, it's very important to sterilize the area whenever you're going to be breaking your skin. Just swab the skin, let it dry, or speed it along slightly. Then press the lancet device firmly against the skin and trigger it. Squeeze gently to get a nice drop of blood on the finger. And then apply the device to that. Device will give a reading, which in my case is 355.
So what does that reading mean, Craig?
That means that my sugar is very high. This is a post-meal reading, which means that I ate and I have not adjusted since then. So 355 is very high. Typically you want to be between 60 and 120. With my current reading at a 355, I'm supposed to do 2 units of insulin for every 2 for every 50 points above 150. So with a 355, I have to do 8 units of insulin.
So can you show us the insulin pens?
Sure. There are 2 types of insulin injection kits typically used. One standard syringe, which you'll use with an insulin vial, and becoming somewhat more prevalent today are the actual insulin pens, which in my opinion are much easier to use. What you do with this, you get a little syringe cap, you apply that to the end of the pen, remove the plastic protector, and then you just dial the pen to however much insulin you need. So in my case, 8 units. Again, very important to sterilize the area with that alcohol swab. Remove the syringe protector. Press the syringe in, and then depress the plunger on the end of the pen, which injects the insulin. And then just mop up any blood left over, and you're all set.
Thank you very much for showing this, Craig.
My pleasure.
This is the life of a diabetic, testing themselves 3 times a day, every day, for their entire lives. My internship at the FDA allowed me to examine an emerging technology, the glucose biosensor. This device would be a lot less painful to diabetics, as it would only need 1 injection a week of a small hydrogel. This hydrogel then emits different light intensities based on the hydrogel's interactions with glucose, thus telling the diabetic what their blood glucose concentration is without the everyday pain of finger pricking. Remember that if you ever find an unconscious person who is confirmed to be a diabetic, call 911, and in the meantime, smear some honey on their lips. Don't worry about whether they are hypoglycemic or hypoglycemic. The honey may just save their lives.